Standing by with Harrison Bader. And Harrison, first and foremost, how do you feel and what's the plan this week?
Yeah, I feel great. Here for I believe it's 7 innings or so, 4 at bats, kind of whatever comes first, and yeah, just again taking care of business here. It's nice to be back, and again, just shifting focus after this to hopefully be in Boston over this weekend.
And everyone's getting a little bit healthier. It was nice to see Giancarlo making some contributions yesterday. Big win. I mean, just how does that feel to see everyone getting healthier and just seeing the pieces start to come together a little bit more as we get closer toward the middle of the season?
Yeah, I think you said it best right there. As I progressed here, it's staying healthy as a club, individually, as a unit, it's really the name of the game. So to see guys get healthy, obviously I'm right on the corner. We need everybody to make some noise and to accomplish what we're trying to accomplish, which is obviously have a playoff berth and kind of go from there. So it takes everybody, and to see that everyone's on the right track is definitely a good sign.
I'm curious too. It was a big win yesterday, and you grew up a Yankee fan. How much did you kind of play into the Subway Series growing up, and how much of an importance does that hold to you as someone that really can recognize it?
Yeah, I mean it was really cool. Obviously, as a young kid, and again now I'm a little older now, soon obviously missed the chance to play last night, but getting a chance to be a part of it, I try to reserve those emotions because there are a lot of emotions, and obviously, New York City is home to a lot of sports teams, but specifically in baseball, we have two really close to each other, and there's always kind of that battle, and there has been those for years. So to be a part of that history is awesome, and I'm just looking forward to the next time the Mets are obviously in Yankee Stadium. I get to be there and play.
Did you have any Subway Series memories growing up? Like, did you watch the games that closely growing up?
Yeah, I went to a couple for sure. I don't remember exactly moments, but I definitely remember being there at the old Shea Stadium. Actually, I went to one, so yeah, there's a lot of history there.
So, what's been the toughest part of being out and watching this offense struggle?
Well, I think just the most difficult part, regardless of how the offense is doing, is knowing that I can't really do anything to help it. So being on the sidelines is obviously tough. But whether the team is playing really well or not really well, it doesn't really matter because I always want to be a part of contributing. So just sitting on the sidelines has been the most difficult part. But again, you shift focus individually, and I'm just looking forward to doing my best to add to winning games.
When you are on the sideline, does that change kind of your perspective looking at a team that's had some up and downs, whether that be being able to watch video, dive into guys a little bit differently than when you're actually active? Does that change the perspective a little?
I would say when I was younger, yeah, you put a lot more into it. You kind of get really frustrated, but as you get older in this game, and your game shifts a little bit, you realize that it is what it is, and injuries are part of the game, and it's how you respond, which I think is the most important thing. So, if you look at the last two injuries I've had this year, they've been just maybe playing a little too hard, going a little too aggressively, and it's not to say that you don't pick your spots, but the most important thing is remaining on the field for yourself and for your teammates. So again, you just shift focus. You kind of just take it, and you adjust accordingly. So again, I'm really just focused on getting back on the field, starting tonight, obviously in Somerset. So yeah, I'm just excited, and there's really no emotion about it. And when tonight's done, we'll shift focus and see how we land in Boston.
And obviously, your main goal is to get back with the guys in the Bronx to be a competitive baseball team and hopefully bring a championship back to New York. I'm very curious as to what it's like down here, getting to play with all of these youngsters, people who are kind of going through the grind like you did, obviously back in the day. It's no joke. Like, this is your livelihood. This is a job. It takes blood, sweat, and tears to get here. And then I know you're down here to get your at-bats and get ready to go back, but is there a part of you that's down here looking to give guys advice, kind of going out of your way, in a sense, to let them know like what you went through and kind of, play a factor in what they're going through right now?
Yeah. So I mean, listen, I always try to be an example for younger players, whether it's in the major leagues, whether it's at a lower level, during a rehab assignment. I think it's really important to kind of hand the game back, whether it's knowledge, whether it's a spread, whether it's a piece of information in the game. Because when I was playing at a younger level, especially down here and in the major leagues, guys always went out of their way. So everybody stays really focused, and they have their routine, so you never want kind of encroach on that. But I do my best to always be open to talking to players, especially if I see something or I can see them struggling with something, because at one point in my career I was absolutely there going through the same thing. And that's why baseball is so funny, because really regardless of the level, it really is the same exact game. It's just maybe a different stadium, more people in the stands, but at the root of it, it's the same game, and you kind of go about it the same way. So I think as important for it is to me to just get my work in, get here, get done with it, and move on. I think it's really even more important to just leave a lasting impact on guys, because you just never know whether it's a play or how you go about it, or a piece of information during the game that might kind of stick with them, that could potentially propel them in a positive direction. So yeah, I think that's a really good question. I think it's important to do that at all times.
I'm kind of curious. When we last saw you here in April, you kind of gave your first impressions of Anthony Volpe. Over the past couple of months, how have you maybe seen him evolve at that level and kind of adjust to the level of play?
Yeah, listen, he's been the same exact guy. Obviously his numbers don't necessarily reflect where he wants to be, but the numbers don't ever tell the entire story, and especially with how young he is in his major league career. So he's been the same exact guy in terms of how he's gone about it, how he's prepared, how he is in between at bats, good or bad result. And again, the word poise stuck out to me when I was watching him play and kind of watching him go about it, even when he wasn't playing. And he has the same level of poise, same exact mindset. He's not pressing. He's not frustrated. He's just going about his business and trying his best to be a winning player, which, as someone who's gone through it, I was sent out in 2019 for like 20 games. So, listen, it happens. And to see him work through it, to see him put together good at-bats, got a big hit last night, these are all wins. And I think it's really important for him to just continue to focus on the notion of how he can win as many times in a ball game, even before a ball game, regardless of the result, hitting-wise. And what I mean by that is how you prepare. If you did your homework on the pitcher, if you went in confidently, all these little things are wins. And putting together good at-bats, playing really good defense. Anytime you get a chance to be on base to maybe steal a bag or score a run, even if it's just once in a game and you got on by getting hit by a pitch, who knows. But the point is just to kind of shift the perspective towards everything being a positive and everything being a win. And, that's why he is, where he is in his career. And that's why he's honestly had the same level of confidence and stayed calm, because I really do think he's taking that approach, which is really exciting to see, especially as his teammate, who's a little bit older as of a few days ago, because I just turned 29. So, no, listen, he's a stud. There's no doubt about it. And it's just awesome to see him go through it, because these types of stretches are inevitable. So it's better to learn quickly and go from there.
What's been the most rewarding part of your Yankees experience so far, and what's it meant to you to gain the support of so many Yankee fans in such a short time with the Yankees?
Yeah, I've kind of just getting a chance to put the uniform on every day. And I know that sounds maybe cliched, but just every day is an opportunity. And individual hits, home runs, individual moments. Since I got traded here last August, they haven't stood out to me at all. What stood out to me is just the ability to play in New York, and kind of what it means, and how much history it means to be in that position and prepare for that position every day, and honestly to win games. Just growing up in that area, maybe it's just because obviously I'm from there, but just growing up in that area and kind of walking around and getting a chance to strap it on and to see what the game has in store for you that day, honestly has been the most rewarding thing. Listen, don't get me wrong, team wins, home runs, stuff, they definitely are important, but I think the general picture has just been the most rewarding thing, and yeah, I'm just looking forward to continuing that journey here and for as many games as possible, and just seeing where it takes me. But it's just really it's been an honor to play in the Bronx, and every time I get a chance to do something great, it's just a wonderful opportunity. So I'm just excited for it all.
What are the boys in the clubhouse eating tonight?
Sorry?
What are the boys in the clubhouse eating tonight?
I don't know. I got to talk to the individual that handles that. So they'll be eating just fine, though. I can assure you that.
Last question for you. I'm very curious, because I'm going to assume you grew up, at least on some level, dreaming of being a New York Yankee, or at very least a Major League Baseball player. What's the dream like versus the reality now of being in the big leagues, going through that grit and determination, and also understanding the business side of what the MLB is, a business at the end of the day?
Yeah, the business side of it really, you can put up numbers, you can, do all those things, and that's as far as that really goes with regards to the business side. I had a really good coach who I reference all the time. His name is Brad Weitzel. At the University of Florida, and he said that players were always kind of had it backwards because they thought that, in college that the coaching staff decides and makes the lineup. But Brad would always say that it's the players who make the lineup. And what he meant by that was the way you go about it, the way you prepare, the way you deliver, the way you perform, those instances, really, really construct the lineup. And I think it's important. It's the same that can be said about how business is taken, how baseball is considered a business. Beyond all of that, players really do decide how that all shakes out. And I firmly believe that. So with that said, I think it's just important to just stay focused on playing baseball. Obviously, I dreamed about being in the major leagues and potentially, I was a young kid watching Brett Gardner and Bernie Williams. I'd always told myself I wanted to play center field because that was, New York Yankees baseball was all I knew as a kid. So, it's funny how it all worked out, but, I don't ever take it for granted. I don't get emotional about it to miss a second. I stay really locked in and I respect the game. I respect the uniform, and I go out there and I play as hard as I can. So, just overall, I think it's just important to just to be the best version of yourself on the field, and whatever happens after that is, listen, it is what it is. But you can't take the joy away from getting the chance to go out there and play if you're worried about the business side, which is far out of my control beyond just the performance. So, yeah, listen, it's been fun so far. We'll see how it shakes out.
Last thing for me, I know it's been, like you've said so many times, it's surreal to be playing in the pinstripes in the Bronx. Has there been one moment where it was just like, this is really happening, like that one moment that really sticks out for you?
I mean, they've all been pretty special. The very first time I put, the uniform on in the clubhouse, and I went to go put eye black on, and I caught a mirror and I kind of looked at it. That was pretty cool. But just I think when I hit my first home run in the playoffs, and I just heard how loud the fans were. I was like, this is real, for sure. So, again, I live for moments like that. I live for singles even, or just a big walk in a big situation or diving catch. But every single moment is special. So, again, I just try to just stay focused on the task at hand. And yeah, I truly though every moment has been really special. So, just trying to make more moments happen like that.
Appreciate the time.
Yeah, no problem, guys. Thank you.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.